If I had a word to describe 2014's Destiny, it would be serviceable. It was expensive, popular, gorgeous, AAA high-quality filler. The world was sprawling, the mechanics were solid, the ideas were surprisingly creative at the time. Still, Destiny was soulless, full of undeveloped potential, thanks to a host of design flaws. Now, in 2017, developer Bungie has another shot at building upon their newest franchise. Welcome to the Next Level review of Destiny 2. The first 6 hours of Destiny 2 are absolutely terrifying because the game initially appears to make all the same mistakes as its predecessor. The enemy types are the same, the character creator still has a limited pool of possible designs, and the maps feel pointless with no clear sense of direction. Even the story beats, while more defined, are rushed. This is what drove my fear that Destiny 2 would simply be a carbon copy of the original. However, once the sequel passes its period of growing pains, it changes. The world opens up again, the mechanics expand, the edges start to smooth out, and the franchise's potential finally comes into fruition. When the narrative pace slows down, the game shines. Unlike the franchise's first installment, the plot of Destiny 2 is clear. It might be a little simple, but its defined progression still drives the player towards the story's end, motivating them onward. Along the way, the writing manages to deliver humor, drama, and dare I say it, a little heart. Upholding the stronger story of Destiny 2 is an atmosphere central to the franchise. Each of the new locations in the solar system has their own unique landscape. Titan, a moon of Saturn, is a planet-sized ocean. Nessus is a distant planetoid whose rich vegetation was corrupted by advanced technology. Io, a moon of Jupiter, holds the remains of what used to be a magnificent settlement. Earth also makes a return in the form of the European Dead Zone. While the environments look stunning from a distance and each area is packed with detail, some of the textures are unsightly. The franchise has always embraced a less realistic, more cartoonish aesthetic, and that's acceptable, but some of the problems go beyond artistic choices. Even in the introductory tutorial, the fire effects adorning the destructed buildings look cheap and rushed. However, once the worlds open up and you're gazing out at the thrashing oceans of Titan, it's hard to be picky. Once the campaign is complete, Destiny 2 offers plenty of activities in true MMO fashion. Other than a variety of side quests on each of the interplanetary playgrounds, Guardians can also engage in activities like patrols, strikes, and raids. While playing the original Destiny activities felt like chores, these new challenges are upgraded from their original versions, though they still have their flaws. While the story is intriguing and entertaining, it lacks depth and could have fleshed out the characters a little bit more. The side quest can get dry after too much repetition, and the Leviathan raid has a section that could frustrate me on my happiest day. However, even with that said, the title still offers great challenges to conquer. They're more replayable, more varied, and more focused than what the original game offered. There's more fun to be had. At its core, Destiny is still a mechanics-based franchise. No matter how many worlds players explore or how many challenges they complete, they'll still be running around and shooting anything that moves. Though the concept and atmosphere might match that of an MMO by sending players on quests and social activities, the gunplay is the core of the series. It was excellent in the first game, and it's still excellent here. Weapons are divided into 3 slots: kinetic, elemental, and heavy. Players can carry one of each, 3 weapons in total, and each slot can hold plenty of options. For elemental and kinetic weapons, the game supplies a huge number of gun types. From hand cannons to automatic rifles, sidearms to SMGs, most of the traditional shooter weapons can be found in these 2 categories. As an added bonus, power weapons occupy the final slot in your armory. Ammo is scarce, especially in PvP, but destroying your enemies with a grenade launcher or a broadsword feels glorious. Once players have their fill of the PvE combat, they can scratch their competitive itch by jumping into PvP in the Crucible. These matches have undergone some major changes from the first game, some of which probably won't please fans. The improvements include balancing tweaks such as making power ammo more difficult to obtain. However, the entire structure of the Crucible has changed for the worse. Even though the game is a more balanced, personal contest, most of the opportunities for teamwork have been crushed with a critical change. The first Destiny had 6v6, 3v3, and free-for-all game modes. Destiny 2 only has 4v4 game modes. No matter which game mode you play, the player count never exceeds 8. To complement this change, maps are tighter and more constrained, making matches more hectic. It's an addicting set of battle mechanics, but it's still a downgrade in the end. Destiny 2 provides all the great content of the first game and smooths out some of the edges of the original. It's definitely an improvement. However, it's so similar to its predecessor that it lacks an identity of its own. Not much changes from one to the other, and there aren't enough new ideas to make it stand out. In fact, this title operates better as a remake of the first, improving the formula instead of taking a new step forward. All of this isn't to say that Destiny 2 isn't fun. It's an absolute blast, a game I could sink 100 hours into. It's truly an enjoyable experience with an enriched environment, tweaked mechanics, and a solid story. It's probably going to please a lot of fans of the franchise. Nevertheless, it does little to attract new players or folks who felt scorned by the original Destiny. If you spent hours and hours fighting alongside fellow Guardians in the first game, I'd strongly advise picking up a copy of Destiny 2. If you liked the idea of Destiny but disliked its execution, I'd still recommend this title, but it's worth waiting for a sale or buying it prepackaged with its upcoming DLC. As an MMO, it's good. As a sci-fi shooter, it's great, but it continues the trend of the franchise doubling down on its premise rather than evolving in a major way. It's a quality of life improvement for Bungie's ambitious experiment, but I'd like to see the studio really shoot for the stars in the installments to come. To read our full review of Destiny 2, check out our website at nlgo.net. For all your video game coverage, stay tuned in Next Level Gaming Online, UW Parkside's gaming community.